When choosing between writing an informative or persuasive speech, the speaker should consider the purpose of the speech. Is it to share information about a particular event, topic, or subject? Or is it to persuade the audience to hold a certain belief or attitude about said event, topic, or subject? The focus of the thesis, or the main argument of the speech, often dictates whether the speech will be mainly informative or persuasive in nature. However, keep in mind that some speeches will contain a combination of both types of speech. Informative speeches describe knowledge about a particular event, process, object, or concept. The goal of an informative speech is for the audience to fully comprehend this knowledge. For example, imagine a topic that could fall into either category, such as reproductive choice. An informative speech may track the history of reproductive choice in America. A persuasive speech may discuss the pros and cons of Roe v. Wade, or how some groups feel that reproductive choice is threatened. Remember, all persuasive speeches will be informative in nature, but not all informational speeches may be persuasive. Fully understanding the informational or persuasive purpose of the speech will help the speaker determine what rhetorical strategies to use in the pursuit of achieving their goal. If the purpose is simply to provide information, then the speech will likely rely less on pathos and more on evidence, statistical data, charts, or graphs. If the purpose is to have the audience believe or feel a certain way about the subject, then the speaker may tailor the evidence and specific data with appeals to emotion to lead the audience to the desired point of view. When writing a speech, take into account the intended audience that will be addressed. Never underestimate the importance of knowing the audience. For example, when giving an informative speech, the speaker must take into account not only the audience's familiarity with any technical terms, but also what sort of pathos they may want to use. Some audiences will respond to certain appeals to emotion, while others might be turned off to the speaker if they make what is seen as an inappropriate appeal to emotion. Therefore, always consider the specifics of your audience: age, occupation, beliefs, and motivations, and then use these specifics to inform the form and content of the speech. The State of the Union is a good example of a speech that contains elements of informative and persuasive speeches. In the State of the Union, the President of the United States is supposed to inform the members of Congress on the state of the Union. Therefore, it commonly contains specific information, i.e., the number of jobs created in a certain period. However, the State of the Union also contains heavy pathos that is intended to make citizens feel confident about the President's handling of the nation and hopefully about the future. The President will use data and emotional appeals to make his or her case to the American people. This specific speech makes it clear that a speech can combine the features of informative and persuasive speeches. What is pathos? Pathos is Greek for suffering and experience. Words like empathy, sympathy, and pathetic are derived from pathos. To appeal to pathos is to persuade by appealing to the audience's emotions. As the speaker, you want the audience to feel the same emotions you feel about something, and you want to emotionally connect with and influence them. If you have low pathos, the audience is likely to try to find flaws in your argument. And just as a refresher for the other types of rhetorical appeal, we have ethos, an appeal using the establishment of credibility or authority. And this would include degrees, experience, qualifications, popularity, morality, etc. And then we have logos, an appeal to logic, data, facts, etc. So now let's look at an example of a former president and how this president uses various types of rhetorical appeal skillfully. Let me find myself to this video. Here we go.
For those of you who are just turning 18 and were only 3 or 4 when I was elected, my name's Barack Obama. I was the 44th president of the United States, and I have the best jump shot in White House history. That's what I do. I've heard a lot recently about how voting doesn't solve everything, and I can see why you might think that. It won't make Outer Banks or Euphoria Season 3 or Rihanna's new album drop any faster. It won't make sending gifts any less cool. Wait. Gifts aren't cool anymore? Anyway, it won't even help you understand the most complicated questions in the universe. Like, why do I know so much about Pete Davidson's dating life? But here's what voting does do. It allows you to make your voice heard on the big issues, and it reinforces the incredible work you've done between elections, holding your leaders accountable. 2 years ago, more young people voted than in any other election since the 1970s. And because you did, the direction of the country changed. Look what's happened since. Hundreds of millions of Americans received life-saving vaccines. We made the biggest investment in history to fight climate change. We've forgiven billions of dollars in student loan debt. And we finally released that huge report about aliens. Oh, sorry, I mean unidentified aerial phenomena. I think these are some pretty good reasons to vote, but I don't need to tell you that there's a lot more that needs to be done. Here are 5 issues that depend on your vote. Number 1, a woman's right to choose. In 5 states, abortion protections are literally on the ballot. Number 2, gun safety. We have a chance to put in place common sense gun safety laws, but we need your help to do it. Number 3, schools. Local and state officials help determine the history our students learn and the books they're allowed to read. So do your research. We know you have the skills. Who knew there were so many secrets on the new Taylor Swift album?
I think I'm onto something.
Number 4, immigration. A lot of politicians don't actually know how to build a better immigration system, so instead they use refugees as props and play on fears. Look for candidates who are actually trying to solve the problem. Number 5, climate. We need elected officials who think climate change is real and are willing to fight for our future. And of course, we need to do everything we can to protect our country from the folks who are willing to undermine our democracy in order to win an election and who want to deny you the right to vote. I know a lot of you care about these issues more than this kid loves corn.
Cone.
So prove it. Make sure you're registered to vote at vote.org/Obama and then go vote. Our future depends on it.